Here in Homebuilt parking where we're standing, we've got quite a few unique aircraft, and down in Homebuilt camping, our campers are enjoying a good stay, so life is good at Homebuilt. I would say that the Homebuilt community offers such a wide array of aircraft. There's literally something for everyone.
It's a 1929 design, and when I was looking at home-built aircraft, what I wanted to build, my background was in radio-controlled airplanes. So I knew wood, I knew the glue, I knew kind of the structures, and in looking at the different plans that were available and kits that were out there, the Pete and Paul really stood out. It's a low and slow aircraft, so I wanted something open cockpit that I could, enjoy the scenery and enjoy the smells in. Give lots of rides. So again, an older design is really a unique aircraft to give rides for young eagles in. As far as interest in youth, this one is a lot different because when I pull up to a Young Eagles event in this, or I also fly an RV4, they're unique. Everybody's used to flying in Cessnas and Cherokees and everything else, and you come in an experimental, and it's like, okay, what plane do you want to fly in? And they always go, that one.
It took me 5.5 years to build. It was going to be a fast build with 2 people working on it. But what really slowed me down, and I don't have any regrets over it, was making modifications. Making changes, you end up with what you want, but it takes a lot longer. And that, to me, epitomizes the whole beauty of it, is you don't have to live with something the way it's been designed. In experimental aviation, as long as it makes sense and you can do the engineering behind it, and at least make a sound decision, then you can make a change. I didn't know that I would like building more than flying. And that's the part that surprised me. I really took to building. We own a 1955 Cessna 180, which is a great airplane. We like to go to Idaho for backcountry camping trips with my dad and my son. And we found ourselves really loaded up in the 180. We decided that the Murphy Moose was a better platform for us to explore Idaho and Washington and the Pacific Northwest together. Building this airplane with my dad was the experience of a lifetime. I got to spend hours with him in our shop in Washington. And on rainy days, we'd spend all day, pulling rivets, bucking rivets, rigging flight controls. And so I got a lot of really quality time with my dad.
It's not a complex airplane. We have no hydraulic system. We don't have an environmental system, but still you learn a lot. They really let you build your own airplane. They don't get real specific on the details.
Every AirVenture, we offer showcases of various aircraft. We do Homebuilts in review every day at 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. And we showcase different models of aircraft or different types of aircraft in terms of cost. We also have the Home Builders Hangar, where we display past grand champions and very unique aircraft. For example, this year we're showcasing the Buster project, which is a Steve Whitman design. Steve Whitman lived here in Oshkosh and was an air racer. And the actual Buster is in the Smithsonian, but Chapter 252 found a set of Buster wings, and they built a reproduction Buster. And after AirVenture, that will go to EAA's museum.
If you want to see the latest and greatest, this is where you see it. It's changed a lot. Avionics packages in these airplanes now, good grief, I didn't have this good of stuff in the Citation. And it's trickle down in aviation. It's really an amazing trickle down effect that affects every realm of aviation.